Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vitvaram. Namah Shri Shankarananda Guru Padam Bhujanmane Savilasa Mahamoha Graha Grasaika Karmane. In this very chapter of Pancha Kosha Viveka, we have been seeing the logic that is presented to us by Vidyaranya Maharaj is about the nature of reality, which is Panchakosha Vyatita Swarupa, which is beyond the five koshas. And the question was raised by the Purva Pakshi, how can there be the existence of a something even beyond the Sushupti, Anandamaya Kosha? Because all five koshas are subject to experience, and beyond the five koshas there is nothing there to experience at all, which is to say, that which is not within the comprehension of experience, its existence is questionable. For which the answer that was given was that in the verse number 13 or 14 we saw, the ultimate experiencer Vadam nidradaya sarve anubhuyate nacha itaraha tada api ete anubhuyante yena tam ko nivaret. No doubt that nidradaya, sleep, etc., meaning all the panchakosha experiences, sarve anubhuyante, all are experienced, na icha itaraha, nothing else. Tata api, even then, ete, these five koshas, yena anubhuyante, by which it is experienced, tam kaha nivarayet. How can that be negated by anyone? And also, all these five, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, all these are all experienced not by themselves, by something else as a support. Swayameva anubhutitvad vidyate na anubhavyata. It is the Paramatma, the self, is not an object of experience. It is self-experienced. It is of the nature of experience. Awareness is a nature of it, not as a thought, not as an experience from the senses, not as a feeling, not as an emotion, not as an idea, not as an opinion, not as a memory. Swayameva anubhutitvat. Jnatri jnanantara abhavat. It is that experience where the experiencer having to experience as an object is not there. So, because it does not, so you cannot say it does not exist. No experiencer or an experienced experience other than it. Jnatri jnanantara abhavat. Agneyahanna. Therefore, you cannot say just because it is not an object of experience, it cannot be considered as non-existence. Nadus asattaya. What is the example that is given? Just like madhuryadi adi swabhanam anyatra swaguna arpinam. Like a good or sugar, when you put it in a milk or anything else, no doubt that milk becomes sugar. Sweet. The sweetness of a pudding, sweetness of the milk is because of adding sugar. So by addition of sugar, the milk or any other thing becomes sweet. Because of what the sugar is sweet? Has it borrowed sweetness from something else? Swasmin tadarpana apeksha na. It is not that it is seeking its sweetness from something else. A milk or a pudding or any sweet is depending upon sugar for its sweetness. What does the sugar depend upon for its sweetness? Nothing. Nacha asti anyat arpakam. Arpakam anyat nasti. Arpakam, that which gives, that which imparts. So that is not there. So like this, sugar is sweet by itself, not a borrowed experience, borrowed nature. In the same way, Atman is of the nature of knowing or experiencing, not because it needs another object to experience, another thing to experience. Like that is usually the given experience. The example is Deepasya anya deepa icha. The resplendent light does not require something else to know, something else to be known. In the sense, with the light we know everything. To know the light we need nothing. Do we need anything to know the sun? Is today sunny or not? Go out and see. Wait, let me take some flashlight and go. Is there a need for a flashlight to see the sun? Arpakantararahitye api. So we'll read the verse number 15 onward. Arpakantararahitye api astyesham tatsvabhavata ma bhuttadanubhavyatvam bodhatma tu nahiyate. Arpakantararahityepi asatyesham tatsvabhavata ma bhuttadanubhavyatvam bodhatma tu nahiyate. Arpakantara, other than itself, there is no need for something else to gain that quality of sweetness. Madhuryadi, samarpaka vastu, samarpaka sorry, antara abhave api, vastu antara abhave api, yesham gudadinam madhuryadi swabhavata yata vidyate, evam atmanah api anubhav vishayatvam mabhut, anubhav rupata tu bhavati eva ityartah. Anubhava vishayatvam mabhut. Anubhava vishayatvam sa atma na bhavati. As we explained in the previous chapter, previous class, Annamaya Kosha depends upon prana. With the prana alone, Annamaya Kosha becomes an object of experience. Prana also an object of experience only with respect to the mind. Mind as thoughts, feelings, emotions are also an object of experience only when there is buddhi. Buddhi becomes an object of experience only when there is chidabhasa. Chidabhasa is because of the Atman which is reflected. That's why the hierarchy was given. Indriyebhya param manaha manasastu para buddhihi buddher atma mahan paraha. So Atma mahan. Kyun? So what is that with which I know the Atman? Nothing. Drigeva nadu drishyate. It is only a knower, not a thing to be known, a thing that can be known. So, here, Mabhu tada anubhavyatvam, bodha atma, the nature of awareness, of the nature of knowledge. See, we come to know anything as a thought. And any experience is in the form of a thought. But awareness is not a thought. Awareness is. It's not a thought that appears and disappears. For example, if I am having a good thought, something which is pleasant happened, a thought rises, I know, oh, I am having a pleasant thought now. And then it is replaced by some other thought which is a worry. Oh, okay, after the class I have to do it. Oh, so that thought has come. So that thought is I am aware. Then that thought goes away. Then, oh, dinner I have not prepared anything. What should I do for dinner? What should I prepare? So that thought has come. I am aware of that. Then that thought goes away. Then tomorrow I have to plan something. That thought has come. That also need to be, I become aware. So this way, constantly, there is constant movement of thoughts, one after another. And I'm aware of all of that. I'm aware of all those thoughts that arises. And as the thought arises, I'm aware. As the thought disappears and replaced by something else, I'm aware. And I can recall what happened yesterday, that I'm aware. Then I am anxious about tomorrow, that I'm aware. Then at some point of time, I sit down quietly. Okay, let me do some meditation. Because I have to do, every day I have to do exercise or workout. Like that, I have to do meditation also as a part of my daily schedule. किसके लिए कर रहे हो? पता नहीं, मैं कर रहा हूँ. मुझे करना है. गुरु ने बताया आप डेली मेडिटेट करो, इसलिए मैं कर रहा हूँ. ऐसा रिचुअल. चलो बैठेंगे. तो sit down quietly. And गुरु ने बताया कुछ सोचो नहीं, सोचो मत. अच्छा ठीक है. Don't think about anything. Keep smiling. So I sit down quietly. Let me sit down. No thought. No thought is also another thought. I have no thought at all. Very good, nice. But the thought is there. The thought that I don't have a thought. Wow. That thought is also there. At least other thoughts are not there. So to that extent, I'm peaceful. I hope this peace remains. But if another thought comes, so this way we are aware of every thought that arises, every thought that disappears. Who is that? Bodhatma. Bodha Atma. Atma Swayam Bodha. Swabodha. Swajam Swam Swayameva Janati. It knows itself. Na hiyate. Na layam gacchati. Na hiyate. It does not disappear. There is no loss. Ha is to disappear or destroy. Na hiyate. It does not become absent. Because of anubhavyatvam na. But bodha atma. It is not an object of experience. It stands firm like a four square, as it is given in the commentary. So this nature of Swayam Jyoti Swarupa Paramatma, awareness is self-revealing. That is said in the next verse also. Swayam Jyotirbhavatyeshaha Purosmad Bhasate Kilat Tameva Bantam Anveti Tadbhasa Bhasyate Jagat Swayam Jyotirbhavatyeshaha Purosmad Bhasate Kilat Tameva Bantam Anveti Tadbhasa Bhasyate Jagat. What is the nature of the self? Swayam Jyotihi. Swayam Janati. Jyotihi, light. Swayam, self-revealing. Bhavati, it is. Yeshaha, Yeshaha Atma, the self. Puraha, ending, it means Pura, in the past. Asmat, Bhasate Akilat. Before the beginning of the universe, everything alone, that alone was shining. It alone was. It is said in Bhagavatam, I have explained this before also, when the Brahma came to be manifest, he wondered that Brahma, the creator, who am I? Where have I come from? The usual intellectual questions. It is like somebody met with an accident and he was unconscious, let us say. Then he was taken to the hospital. Then treatment is given. And once the treatment is given, as soon as he slowly wakes up. First question, where am I? Isn't it? Thank God he will not ask, who am I? If he asks, who am I, then doctor has to come again. The question is very important. What is he asking? Where am I? Okay, that means you know who you are, but you only wonder where I am. Where am I? So, where am I means what? How did I come here? Where? Hospital? Why am I here? Why am I? Next. Somebody says you are in the hospital. Why am I? So why am I? What do you mean? You got met with an accident? Oh, okay. So long as he doesn't ask the question, who am I? You are okay. So now if he starts to Brahmaji, on the other hand, where am I? Then, yes, who am I? Meaning what? See, who am I? If some one child, even is who am I asked, then you say so and so son, daughter. This is your parents, unfortunate ones. So you can say this is your brother, this is sister, all that. But Brahma ji, nothing was there in the beginning. कुछ कोई भी नहीं था, कोई नहीं था, कुछ नहीं था. Before me there was nothing. So who am I? See, to ask that question, who am I is not questioned. मैं हूं, उसका संशय नहीं था. मैं हूं, that doubt is not there. Am I there or not? That doubt, who has that? Where am I? Who am I? Why am I? All that questions are asked, but no question is that. Am I? That question is there. Am I? Anybody asks? Am I? Nobody asks that question. Am I? Because I is infallible experience all the time. Yakini. So therefore here, Swayam Jyotihi Bhavati Eshaha Pura Asmat Bhasade Akilat. And that self alone by itself is shining. Even in the deep sleep, when we are not aware of anything else at all, that Atman is continuing to be present without anything. Akila. And then when he wakes up also, it only shines. Tameva bantam anubhati sarvam. Tameva bantam anvedi. Tameva bantam. By its shine alone, anu, meaning all of them, anu eti, tadbhasa bhasyade jagat. That because of whose brilliance alone the whole world is illumined. Now we chant very mechanical. Tatra surya vadina chandra targam nemavyuta vanti kudayam tameva vandam anubhati sarvam. Tasya vasa sarvam idam bhavadi. Do arti. Hare bhai socho. Let's pause. Think. Whom are you? What are you saying? That alone shines, and it's because of its brilliance alone everything shines. If only we realize that Atman does not need anything else. It is self-shining, self-aware, and because of that awareness alone, everything else is known. So, to say that it is not Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, but it is beyond that, it is self-revealing, self-aware, pure awareness is not something to be doubted. Because of which alone, everything else is known. Okay. So, continuing here, verse number 17. Enedam. So, here there are some quotes are given. We'll see that atra ayam purushaha swayam jyotir bhavati in Brihadaranya Upanishad. Asmat sarvat atma sarvasmat puradaha suvibhatam tame vabantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhadi. Mundokopanishad, Shvetashvara Upanishad, Kathopanishad, all are quoting this. Ityadi Shrudayaha Atmanaha Swaprakashatvam Bodhayanti Ityarthaha. This is how all the Upanishads are talking about the nature of the reality. Yeneidam sarvam vijanaditam kena vijaniyat vijñātāramare kena vijaniyat. Iti Brihadaranya Upanishade Vakyamartaha Patati Yena idam, because of which Sarvam, all Vijaniyat, by which you alone we know that which cannot be known. By which you know, it does not become a object of thought. So that is explained in the verse number 17. Yenetam janate sarvam tam kenanyena janatam vijñātāram kena vidyāt Shaktam Vedyetu Sadhanam. Yenetam janate sarvam tatkenanyena janatam Vijñātāram kena vidyāt Shaktam Vedyetu Sadhanam. Yena idam sarvam janate, by which everything in this world is known, sarvam, tat kena anyena janatam. That can, by what other thing can it be known? That because of which you can understand everything. Yena sakshi chaitanya rupena atmana idam sarvam drishya jatam janate prasid pranina tam sakshinam atmanam anyena kena sakshi bhutena jadena janatam avagaccheyuhu pumamsaha iti sheshaha. Our senses have specific field of activity. Eyes can know only forms. They cannot know the smell, taste, etc. But it is to attempt eyes to use for hearing, smelling, tasting, touching is unintelligent way of using that sense. It is nonsense. Through eyes I am going to listen. Right? Through ears I am going to see. Through nose I am going to hear. You know that you cannot do it. Now, therefore, the senses by themselves having a limited field of perception are also made to be able to do that. There must be something which is using it as an instrument, manaha. The field of the mind is also limited. It can only remain in the field of the known. It cannot comprehend beyond the known. The field of buddhi is beyond the field of mind also. It can postulate, imagine. It can imagine something which has not been experienced. And that field of logic, that field of rationality, that field of possibility is not available for the mind. So, the buddhi's field is vast. But even the buddhi can only experience everything only where the awareness allows it to be. The field of awareness is unlimited. So therefore, that which is the awareness, which is field is unlimited, aprameyam, beyond all prama, comparison, anupama, unexemplifiable, anupama. So that field cannot be under the comprehension of any of the other things, because of which everything is possible. Yena idam janade sarvam tam kena anyena janatam. Vijñātāram kena vidyāt. Vijñātāra, the word is used for the awareness, the knower. Kena, by what? Vidyāt, can be known. Because every one of the instrument, Shaktam, are capable, Vedye, in their own field of perception, to indeed sadhanam. They are all sadhanam, instrument only in their limited field of perception. Not beyond that. As I said, eyes can do only limited things, ears can do only limited things. So also mind and intellect as well. They cannot go beyond that. It is as though they are tied with a rope Like if an animal is tied with a rope to a particular post, it can go around, but only for a limited area they can cover, because the rope will pull them back beyond that. In the same way, the field of the buddhi, mind, senses are limited. Beyond that, they cannot proceed. And the field beyond the buddhi that is available is that I awareness, aham. And therefore, this aham can independently exist beyond or without, even without any of the senses, self-knowingly. That is the reason why it is Vijñātāram Kena Vidya. This is coming from Pragadarni Upanishad. Who knows? Drishyajādasya Jñātāram Kena Drishyabhūtena Vidyād iti Vijaniyāt. Na Kenāpi Jānāti ityartah. Na Anu Manasa Jñāsyati iti Āshankyaha Shaktam iti. Sadhanam tu jnana sadhanam tu manah vedye jnatavya vishaye shaktam samartham natu jnataye jnatartha atmani. Jnatari atmani, sorry. Jnatari atmani. The mind sadhanam tu jnana sadhanam tu manah. Mind here includes buddhi. Jnana sadhanam manaha. But to vedye, to know, jnatavya vishaye shaktam. Jnatavya vishaye shaktam. What is to be known can be known with the help of the mind. Samartha, capable. Natu jnatari atmani. To know the knower, mind is not capable. Gurudev used to say, a torch or a flashlight with the battery, you can see everything else except the battery. Try with that same flashlight, try to know the battery. It cannot, because without the battery it cannot function. When we start looking at the battery, it will stop. Naiva vacha na manasa ityadi shrutehe Kathopanishad. Na mind, not the speech. Swasyapi jneyatve karma kartrutva virodhat cha iti. So because it can, if you try to understand that, it will fail to be what it is. Mind will fail to be what mind is if it tries to attempt on knowing the self. Eyes or speech will fail to be a speech when it attempts to know what the self is. Atmanah swaprakashatve eva savetti vedyam na cha tasyasya vedya iti Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Anyadeva tad viditad aviditat ataha aviditat adi iti Kena Upanishade vakya dvaya mapi pramanam iti manmanah tat vakya dvayam artatah patati. So now, in the next verse, here he quotes this Kena Upanishad statement, that is, Anyadeva tat viditat aviditat adhi. What means it means? What is the meaning is? Viditat anyat, aviditat adhi. It is other than the known, beyond the unknown. Other than the known means all things that you know. It is not this. And so if it is not known, then it is ignorance? No, it is beyond the ignorance also. Because only by the awareness, ignorance also can be known. See, I'll tell you, if I know certain things in my life, some languages, some sciences, some whatever be the subject I know, That is known field. What you don't know, can you know by what you know? I know English. I know Hindi, let us say. I know medical science. I know law. I know journalism. If all these things are known to me because I studied, whatever, with those which I have come to know through study, through gathering some knowledge about it, with that, can I know what I don't know? Because what I don't know is not within the grasp of what is known. It's outside that. And therefore, to know what I do not know, I need to have awareness. I am aware what I am ignorant, and I am aware of what I am knowledge of. I have knowledge of. That's why in Ramana Maharshi said in Saddarshanam, can there be knowledge without ignorance? Can there be ignorance without knowledge? So ignorance and knowledge are by themselves are interdependent. In what way? The field of the known and field of the unknown, both are I'm aware of. So the one which is aware is not depending upon knowledge or ignorance. It is like darkness and light. Just to give an example. Darkness and light, with the light, can you know the darkness? Try. With the light, can you know the darkness? You can't. With the darkness, can you know the light? You can't. But is it not true? Darkness is because it is opposed to light, and light is light because of it's opposed to darkness. So they are interdependent, but not one is necessary for other. Mean the sense that with the light, I don't know the darkness. With the darkness, I don't know the light. But I know both light and darkness. The eyes. Eyes know both darkness and light. Because when one is there, it cannot know the presence of absence of something else opposed to it. It goes little away from our usual logic because awareness is not accepted by the logicians as an entity. Nyaya, science of logic, does not accept something which is imperceptible. So therefore, science today also has a problem with consciousness. They cannot accept it. Why? They have to accept it as, they have to know it as an object of experience. Then only they will accept it as a field with for their own research. They have to step outside their logical conclusions. So here, that awareness is neither the known nor the unknown, neither ignorance nor knowledge. So here, another example is given in verse number 17 here. Verse number 17. Now, verse 17 we finished. 18. Saveti vedyam tat sarvam nanyastasyaasti vedita vidita aviditabhyam vidita aviditabhyam tat pratak bodha swarupakam. Saveddi vedyam tat sarvam nanyastati vedita vidita avididabhyam tat pratak bhotaswarupakam. Sahaveti, he knows, the self, the Atman knows, Vedyam, what is to be known, all that is knowable, Sarvam, all of them. That Sarvam Veti. Na Anyaha, nothing else. Tasya Asti Vedita, something else who is the knower of this ever exists. You know why? Because, see, if a thing is there, it can be known by other thing which also exists. A is there, known to B. Now, first premise is A knows B, correct? Okay. A knows the characteristics of B, and B knows the characteristics of A, let us say. And when you say A and B, obviously, what is that which distinguishes A from B? The characteristics of A is exactly the characteristics of B, then they are not two. If the nature or the characteristics of A is not found in the characteristics of B, then only A is different from B, B is different from A. All right. Now look at the problem here. A is existence. What is B? If you say B is also existence, to that extent, B is not different from A. Understood? A is conscious. B? If it is unconscious, it does not know the existence of A then. So B is also conscious. Very good. Now tell me, if A is conscious, B is conscious, A exists, B exists, then what? A is equal to B. No. B is different. What way it's different? Now you are caught. If you say A is existence and consciousness, okay, B is conscious but not exist. You are in trouble. If B doesn't exist, then how, what do you say? Why do you call it as B is there? No. B also exists. Okay. And how it is different from A? A is consciousness and existence. B is existence but unconscious. Then how does he know A? Arey Baba. So there is nothing else can remain outside it to know it. That is right. That's why it says na anyaha tasya asti vedita. Cannot be there outside it to know. So vidita avidita bhyam, of both, from both known and the unknown, that one pratak, different, both swarupakam, of the nature of awareness. It is of the nature of both knowledge. That's why Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. The third aspect I didn't tell you, which is A is all pervading. Now, where is B? Where is B? If B is within the scope of A, it cannot be outside that. Na anya. If B is included in A, then it cannot know when it is included in it. It is enveloped in it. It is covered by it. That is the reason why the Atman is self-knowing. It does not have anything else existing outside it for it to be known. That's why next word is it is omniscient, all-knowing. Now, if somebody says, all this logic is fine, your logic is really appealing, but still I need to comprehend it properly. I'm not able to get it. This requirements, this particular discussion requires some amount of subtlety of the intellect. You cannot use a gross intellect to understand this. But what to talk of people who still don't understand this? So that's why in the next verse he says, Bodhepyanubhavo yasya na katanchana jayate tam kadam bodhayet shastram loshtam narasamakritim bodhepyanubhavo yasya na katanchana jayate tam kadam bodhayet shastram loshtam narasamakritim. Anubhavaha yasya bodhe api. Bodhe api, even though it is known as anubhava, its awareness is not outside our anubhavam. Continuously we are in the lapse of that awareness, in the lap, not lapse, lap of awareness. We are already sitting in the lap of awareness. Bodhe api anubhavaha yasya na kadanchana jayate. Even though it is knowing every experience. How is that, in spite of knowing that every experience of mine, every feeling, thoughts, etc., are within the awareness only, having understood that also, tam kadam bodhayet shastram loshtam narasamakritim. Loshtam sama. Loshtam is mud, clay-headed. How can anybody can teach Shastram to a person whose mind is like nothing but the brain is nothing but a clay? Sochtani. Not thinking at all. Yasya mandasya bodhe api gatadi spurana rupe api anubhavaha sakshatkaraha kadanchana kadamabi na jayate napopadyate tam narasamakritim narasamaga akaram loshtam loshtava jatam manusyam shastram kadam bodhayet na kamapi bodhayet ityartha. It is like you take a clay and make a man out of it. To that you can teach Shastra. He may look like a man, but actually is jadam. How can you teach to a person who is jadavat, loshtavat, tishtati, akar, manushya akar, but jadabuddhi? To such a person, how will you teach this? Because, even though it is subject to constant experience and somebody denies its existence, how can you teach that person? That is why it is said usually, lochananam vihinasya darpana kim karishyati. Those who do not have eyes, what can mirror do? Swaprajnanahinasya shastra kim karishyati. One who does not understand one's own awareness, Shastra how can be taught? Kopina bodhum shakyate. So that person cannot be taught. बुद्धि है ही नहीं, वो बुद्धू को कौन बुद्धि दे सकता है? There are three kinds of people, those who don't want to learn. Now you can't do anything about it. Those who do not want to learn, how will you teach them? So you cannot do anything about those people who do not want to learn. Second set of people say, I know everything. Now how will you teach a person who thinks that he knows everything? You cannot teach that person. Third person is one who knows that he does not know and accepts that he does not know and wants to know. Only such a person you can teach. It is like this. Whom will you wake up? If somebody is not sleeping, can you wake him up? Why should I wake up? He's already awake. Somebody who is pretending to sleep, can you wake him up? You cannot, because he's pretending. When he is pretending to be asleep, how much ever you try, he will consciously deny waking up. You try to wake me up. Chalo. Why? Because he's awake. Awake in the sense what? He doesn't want you to wake him up. One who is awake need not be woken up. One who pretends to sleep, you cannot wake him up. One who is really sleeping, you can definitely wake him up. In the same way, one who accepts the ignorance can be given knowledge. One who denies ignorance cannot be taught. One who is already awakened, one who already knows, he doesn't need to be taught. So here is a case of a person who is like a jadam. Loshtam nara sama akritim katam bodhaye shastram. How the Shastra can teach this person? Why? Because every moment of our life, it is the touch of awareness that is making us capable of knowing everything, including our own being. पहला बात है कि मैं हूं, ये awareness हो, I am. That awareness is constantly there. Then alone all other things are possible. I am. That awareness is there, and therefore I can learn everything else. I know everything else. Therefore, this awareness I am cannot be ever denied. And that awareness you are. Now, the beautiful example is given in the next 2 hours. We read that explanation, we'll see in the later class. Vijihva mesti na vetyutihi. Lajjaye kevalam yata. न बुध्यते मया बोधः बोद्धव्य इति तादृशी जिह्वा मेस्ति न वेत्युक्तिः लज्जायै केवलं यथा न बुध्यते मया बोधः बोद्धव्य इति तादृशी मे जिह्वा अस्ति va na. If a person says, I do not know whether I have a tongue at all or not. Jihva asti va na va. Yata lajjaye kevalam uktihi. In this way, if a person says, I don't know whether I have a tongue at all or not. Are Buddhu, you are talking, right? While talking, you are saying whether I have a tongue or not. What can I tell you? How are you speaking without the tongue? I speak, but I am not sure whether I have a tongue at all or not. What will you tell him? In the same way, na buddhyade maya bodha. I do not know whether I have awareness. Bodhavya idi tadrishi. I should know. Bodhavya. That way. In the same way, idi tadrishi. In the same way only, a person who is speaking but denies the tongue. He doubts the tongue. It is as good as saying, I see everything, but I don't know whether I have eyes. I hear everything, but I don't know whether I have ear. I smell everything, I do not know whether I have a nose. I taste everything, I do not know whether I have a tongue. I know everything, but I do not know whether I am aware. Same. You doubt it. That doubt is itself is most foolish. Because you cannot doubt without having awareness. You cannot speak without the tongue. You cannot see without the eyes, etc. That by which you are able to speak, that itself if you deny, that because of which you are aware of everything, that itself if you deny, what foolishness is then? What other foolishness? That's why Mahatma Gandhi beautifully said, those who deny God are those who deny the eyes while seeing everything. Sab dekhle hue bhi, sab everything dekhte hue bhi, even though seeing, chakshu na, aankh nahi hai, aankhein nahi hai. I don't have eyes. If you say, what foolishness is that? So, in other words, this awareness is that which is undeniable. In every experience, its presence is there, even though not known as an object of experience. Its presence cannot be denied ever. For even to deny, you need that awareness. Just like the tongue with which you are speaking can never be denied by you for the very fact that you are speaking with the tongue. See, that is reason they great Mahatmas who are, who have realized the nature of this awareness, who is ever resplendent, ever present, omniscient presence, and related that to the Lord, God, they are so much in love with the Lord, and they say that you never ever absent to me. Always accompanying me everywhere, wherever I go. Yatra yatra mano yadi tatra tatra samadhaya. Wherever the mind goes, there itself is samadhi. क्यों? कहीं भी मन जाते हैं, mind, wherever the mind goes because of consciousness. Mind is able to operate in this world because of that very presence. So how can I deny? How can I ignore? So related that to the Lord says, Bhagavan, you are everywhere. How can I deny your presence? Because my own presence should be denied to deny your presence. That's why Upanishad very clearly says that one who denies Brahman, he denies himself. One who accepts and understands Brahman knows indeed itself. That one who denies Brahman denies oneself. Asanneva sabhavati, asanneva sabhavati, asanneva sabhavati. One who denies Brahman become asat. Santamenam tado vidiruti. One who accepts and understands awareness becomes Santa. न असन्नेव सबवति असत् ब्रह्मेति वेद चेत् अस्ति ब्रह्मेति चेत् वेद संतमेनं ततो विदिरुति. That's a statement from Taittiriya Upanishad. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah sarve santu niramayaha sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukkhabhat bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Any questions anybody has? Yes.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Yes, go ahead.